In a quaint village bordered by lush, undulating hills, where the sunsets painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, lived Eleanor, a woman of grace and resolve. Her hair captured the golden hues of summer, and her eyes mirrored the depth of the lake that cradled the town. She was adored by many, but her heart had long been claimed by Thomas, her childhood sweetheart. Their love story was the melody everyone adored, harmonious and tender. Life was not generous to the lovers, sprinkling their path with hurdles that tested their vow. Thomas was a promising artist, an inheritor of his father's gallery, but unfortunately also of his debts. Eleanor, on the other hand, was the backbone of her family's modest floral shop, which barely made ends meet. Marriage was a dream, nestled far in the future, cradled by hope. As days unfolded into nights and seasons danced one after the other, the couple's love was their anchor. Yet, the storm clouds were never too far away. The town was hit by a severe economic recession, twisting what little they had into even lesser. Debt collectors became frequent visitors at Thomas's door, each encounter leaving him more despondent. One cold autumn evening, as the wind whispered through the drying leaves, Thomas stood in the doorway of Eleanor's small home. His eyes, usually vibrant, were clouded with the storms of his mind. "Eleanor," he began hesitantly, "I am leaving for the city. I believe that is the only way I can find better work to clear my father's debts and secure our future." Eleanor's heart sank. The fear of losing him battled the understanding of his plight. The following weeks turned into months, and the only connection they held were the letters exchanged, each envelope thinner than the last, the words heavier. Eleanor clung to them, just as the autumn held on to the last of its leaves. Meanwhile, her own burdens grew. The floral shop was threatening to close under the economic pressure, her fingers stained with the soil of struggle. One day, a letter arrived, not in the familiar handwriting of Thomas, but typed, cold and formal. "Due to unforeseen circumstances, Thomas will no longer be able to correspond." That was all. The paper trembled in her hands, the ink blurred by her tears. Heartbroken, Eleanor gathered her strength and resolved to save the floral shop as a tribute to their love. Years passed, the shop flourished like never before, thanks to Eleanor's undying determination and the town's burgeoning economy. Her efforts had painted the streets with colour, yet her own world remained grayscale, haunted by the absence of Thomas. One spring day, as the flowers boasted their best blooms and the air was thick with the scent of renewal, Thomas returned. He stood outside the floral shop, older, the lines on his face etched with stories. Eleanor, who spotted him from the window, felt a torrent of emotions she had braced against for years. With trembling steps, she walked towards the door, her hand hesitating on the latch. "Eleanor," Thomas's voice broke, catching the years in a single word. Their eyes met, a cascade of memories flooding them. "I made mistakes, but never a day passed when you weren't in my heart. I needed to come back to tell you that, to see if—" His words trailed into the vibrant spring air. Eleanor, with the resilience that had held her through the seasons, felt the old wound in her heart stir. Life is sometimes an impossible puzzle, Thomas, but it's the pieces we choose to lay that matter in the end. As the melody of their past played softly around them, unsure of the future, they stood amidst the blooms. Each petal around bore witness to their story, one of love, hardship, and the hopeful beginnings of a new chapter. Whether they would walk this path together or apart, only time would tell. But in that moment, they understood the truth in their hearts had not perished with the years. They had found their way back to where they began, with a chance to mend what was once torn apart.